Okay, so this is Will, and what we're going to take a look at is the counting down. So what I need to do is I'm going to go in here, and we're at the up counter still. So, and this is the configuration that I had at the end, and I kind of like that. So let's take a look at what we've got. I'm going to double click on here, and all I really have to do is I have to click this to counting down. Now, so what that does is it takes away my up and it puts in a down. So I need to erase this line. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this point. I'm going to erase the line going this way. So I need to go and edit line erase, and if I click on the very end point, it should erase that whole thing. So now I want to go into end and create a line, and I want to make it from here. I want to go down. Oop, that didn't do what I wanted at all. So let me go back into here. Let me escape, go to here and do my line erase again. Now I want to erase that line, and I want to escape. Now I want to make a line, so I'll go back into line mode, and I'll go down. I want to go down, and then I want to go over. Okay, and to get out, I always hit escape. So that should do what I want. And hopefully when I load it in, it'll sort out so these will all be on the same line. Now the other thing is, when I do this start, is I want to reset. So I'm going to go in here, and we're still going to count, because we're counting down, the set point is going to be 0. We want to, when we count down to 0, we want that to trigger high. So that's right, but what I need to do is I need to initially set my CTD to like 6. And I can go into my eyeball picker and go into my CD and CD1. And yeah, so if I want to put it in here, I can either have it retentive where it'll hold it, or I can have the initial value. And I want to put an initial value, and I want it to be 6. So that's what I want. So when I turn this on, I'm going to have an initial value of 6. So if I download this into my project, okay, connect it up, and it did straighten that out, which was nice. So we're going in here, and now transfer completed. And we'll go into run. And so now we start out at 6, and that's what we want. So I'm going to hit this start push button to get us in start process, and then the reset will be able to count us down. So to get into start process, it didn't do what I wanted. It got us into start process, but it also reset this to 0. That's not good. Well, let's just see what happens when I hit my reset. Yeah, I kind of thought I was going to be counting negative. So, what do we want to do? Okay, so let's go in here and see if we can change this set point. If our reset is always going to put us at 0, I'm going to make my set point -6. Okay, so my set point's -6. And I'm not really liking the way that this is working out, but I'm going to have to do this for the time being. Yeah, I want to change that. I'm trying to think of what the real answer needs to be here. And so it still starts out with that initial value of 6, and that's what I wanted originally. I wanted to start with that initial value and keep that initial value, but when I hit this start push button to go into reset, then it goes to 0. So now it'll be 0 to -6. I mean, really, what I want that to be is 6, and I want that to be 6 even after I hit the reset push button. But when I hit the when I say reset over here, what it really is it's a start push button that does the reset function, but this always resets to 0, which I didn't expect that. So when I hit reset to get into start process, it goes to 0, and I can only count down. So I'm still going to count down. When I get down to -6, it's going to turn on my green lamp. So I'm going to hit my reset 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4, 5, and now when I hit 6, the green lamp will come on. And that works as expected, but that really doesn't do what I want. But now, even if I reset my circuit, I mean, this is functional. So if I reset it, it goes back, and my green lamp is off, and I've got to hit the reset 6 more times. But what I was hoping for was that I was going to count from 6 down to 0 and not from 0 to -6. So I guess I haven't really understood exactly how this is working. And again, I'm sure that well, I know there's a way around that, but what I'm going to need to do for that is, and when I say they're advanced, they're not advanced, but they're topics that we haven't covered yet. And so we're going to probably have to leave this down counter as is for the time being. And once we get into some of these advanced functions, what we're going to have to do is, this start push button is causing it to reset to 0, but when we finish with that, and maybe when we get into start process, we're going to have to use data registers and then load a data register. Well, we're going to have a data register that actually has 6, and then at some point after we do this reset, we're going to have to load that value, that data register that holds a 6. We're going to have to load it into this counter timer, the counter preset value. Now we haven't gotten to the data registers yet, so we're going to have to leave this one as is and kind of let it go until we get into more advanced topics, and then maybe at some point we can kind of revisit this when we get into those advanced topics. But for right now, you know, it's not that bad. We just it's not bad. It's just not the way I thought it was going to be. So we're going to have to always reset, and we're going to have to count with negative numbers for the time being. But you know, that it still is functional, and it still functions as we think. It's just you know, we're just got to deal with the negative numbers, and that's okay. So this is a little bit more complicated than I thought, but it is working as it should. It just not as I initially thought. So anyway, that's with the down counter. Now next time we're going to have the up down counter, and that no doubt is going to be a little bit interesting, and we'll have to see how that goes. And again, you know, we really only have 2 push buttons. We've got a start push button and a reset push button, and now at some point we're going to have, because now when we put that in, we're going to have a down and an up, and we have a reset. So we're doing 3 functions with 2 push buttons, and we'll have to see how that one's going to work out. Anyway, that's the down counter, and for right now we're going to have to make do with what we have. Perhaps there will be a little better implementation we can do further down the road. So we'll see you for the up-down counter then. Thanks.